The mid-morning sun baked the stones of red mesa, turning the desert floor into a shimmering sheet of fire. Dust lifted in lazy spirals as a lean, battered cowboy staggered across the open plain. His name was Colt Harland, a ranch hand from the Southern Territories who had been riding toward Fort Ridley when a gang of horse thieves cut him off, stole his gelding, and left him stranded with nothing but a torn shirt and bruised pride. Colt wasn't the kind of man who panicked, but the desert didn't care about courage. Each hour without water bit deeper into his strength. His lips cracked, his skin burned, and his vision blurred until the world twisted into odd shapes. That was when he saw her. A silhouette on a tall, paint horse stood on the rim of a sandstone rise. At first he thought she was a mirage. The desert loved playing tricks with lonely men, but the figure didn't waver. She rode down the slope with practiced ease, the horse's hooves kicking small puffs of powdery red dust. As she approached, he recognized the intricate beadwork on her leather vest, the long braids streaked with copper, and the calm, assessing gaze. She was Apache, no doubt. But not just any Apache. This was a warrior, young, sharp, and commanding. "Sit down before you fall," she said, her voice steady as polished stone. Colt blinked. "Ma'am, if I sit, I might not stand up again." "Then you'll ride." She guided her horse beside him, holding the reins lightly. "Get on. You look too stubborn to die, and I don't intend to watch it happen." Colt let out a dry laugh. "You don't even know me. I know a man who needs help when I see one." She extended her hand. For a moment, Colt hesitated. Cowboys in his territory had grown up on stories, some respectful, some not, about Apache warriors. He knew enough to respect the danger, but also the honor. He took her hand. Her grip was firm, steady, and surprisingly warm. With her help, he hauled himself into the saddle behind her. "Name's Colt," he rasped. "I am Nalin," she replied. "Hold on." She nudged the horse forward, and the animal broke into a smooth, confident trot across the desert. Colt was too exhausted to do more than hang on, but he noticed the way Nalin rode, balanced, alert, always scanning the horizon. "Where are we headed?" he asked weakly. "To my people's camp," she said. "It's hidden beyond the ridge." Colt stiffened. "Your camp? I'm not sure they'll be thrilled to have a cowboy dropped in their laps." Nalin didn't look back. "If they argue, I will remind them I found you. My responsibility. Your trouble is mine, until you can stand." That was the first time Colt realized she wasn't just helping him out of pity. She had decided, simply and firmly, that she would not leave him alone out here. By late afternoon, the desert wind cooled, and the cliffs shifted from gold to rose. Nalin's camp was tucked low between towering rocks, hidden from any passerby. Several families moved quietly among woven tents, cooking fires, and horses grazing near the canyon walls. As Nalin rode in with Colt slumped behind her, the people turned to look with surprise and a little suspicion. An elder stepped forward. "Nalin," he said, frowning, "you bring a cowboy here." "He was left to die," Nalin replied evenly. "And I would not ride past a dying man." The elder studied Colt's cracked lips, his sunburned skin, and the way he barely stayed upright. Then he sighed. "You have a generous heart." "Very well." Two women brought water and a blanket. Nalin slid off the horse and helped Colt down, steadying him as his legs trembled. "Easy," she murmured. "You're safe." Over the next 2 days, Nalin checked on Colt often. She brought him cool water from the river, wild herbs for strength, and thick slices of roasted squash. Colt slowly regained his voice, and one afternoon, while she handed him a cup, he asked, "You didn't have to help me. Why'd you risk bringing a stranger here?" Nalin shrugged lightly. "My mother taught me this. There are only 2 kinds of people, those who leave others in the dust, and those who ride back for them. I choose the second." Colt smiled weakly. "A lot of folks would have kept riding. That's why the desert claims them." By the 4th day, Colt could walk on his own, though he limped. Nalin met him near the horses where she was brushing her paint mare. "You're stronger," she said, noticing his steadier stance. "Because you didn't let me fall over dead out there," Colt replied. "I owe you." "You owe no debt," she said simply. "But you should know the men who left you. My scouts saw them heading east." "You want your horse back?" "Yes." Colt felt a spark of fire return to his chest. More than that, I want them to stop hurting folks. Nalin gave him a long, measuring look. Then I will guide you to the ridge. Beyond that, you must choose your own fight. He raised an eyebrow. You're not scared riding with me into trouble. I don't fear trouble, she said softly. Only useless fights. And you are not a useless fight. At dawn they rode together out of the canyon. The air was crisp, the sky brushed with turquoise and pale gold. Colt felt stronger with each mile, but also strangely grounded by Nalin's presence, her quiet confidence, her steady pace, the way she listened more than she spoke. By noon, they reached a rocky ridge overlooking a long stretch of badlands. Faint dust trails marked riders moving far below. You're thieves, Nalin said. But you must go from here. Colt nodded slowly. I understand. He paused, then added, Nalin, you saved my life. I won't forget it, not ever. She didn't smile, but her eyes softened. Then ride well, Colt Harland. And when you tell your people this story, tell it true. I will. And remember, she said, guiding her horse back a step, you were not alone. Not when it mattered. Colt swung into his saddle, adjusting his hat. The desert wind blew sand across the ridge, swirling between them. Get on my horse, handsome cowboy, Nalin said quietly, echoing her first command. And keep riding. Then she turned and disappeared into the painted cliffs, leaving Colt staring after her, alive, determined, and no longer alone in the world.